Welcome back to the Tech Talk. I'm your host Josiah, and here with me is my co-host Rashad. How are you doing today, Rashad?
I'm doing great. I believe that we have a great topic for today's discussion. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, the annual TSA conference is coming up, and I understand that this is your first year competing. How have you liked it so far?
Well, I've got to say, I never would have thought of joining TSA because I had originally thought that this would be strictly technology-based. I didn't think that I could find any events that would fit my interests, but then I realized that there was a lot more that TSA offered that appealed to my interests. And honestly, it's been a really enjoyable experience working with others and creating these cool projects. I understand that you have participated in TSA for multiple years. What caused you to join?
My video production teacher recommended that I joined, and I've always been into tech stuff, so I thought it would be fun. Turns out they have a music production event, which was perfect for me and my band to flex our muscles and try making a song for the first time. The whole experience of making the song and going to the state conference ended up becoming one of my favorite experiences of last year.
That's really cool. See, what I like about TSA and what I've learned from you and other members is that it gives students an opportunity to explore their interests and even discover a passion for a possible career, such as with your music production. When we come back from the break, we'll have a special guest on the show to answer some of your questions on how to prepare for your events, and for those of you out there new to TSA, why you should join.
Welcome back. Here with us now is our guest, Jesse, who's been the president of our school's TSA club, has been competing for 3 years, and has made it to the final round of her events at the state conference on several occasions.
Hi, so happy I could make it to talk to you guys today.
Now, we're going to be asking you some of the questions that our listeners have.
Can't wait to hear them.
Starting with question 1 from Sophie. What can I do to get more information for my events?
That is an excellent question. The first thing to do if you want to learn about an event is go onto the Washington TSA website and find that event under the high school events page. It has really basic information about what the challenge is, what you need to do. However, that's not usually enough to actually complete the event. For that, you need to find the event guide, which your advisor can give to you. It describes the requirements and how you're scored in way better detail.
Our second question comes from Brad. He asks, what are the submission deadlines and event dates? I'm worried that I might accidentally miss them.
So there are 2 deadlines for almost any event. The first one is called the preliminary deadline, which is so the judges can see that you're working on your event and sometimes eliminate some people if there's too many signed up. This is on January 23rd this year, which is coming up pretty soon. The second deadline is the final deadline. That's usually the conference itself, which begins on April 2nd. However, if you have an early entry event, it can be due as early as March 14th. You can find your event's deadline on its page on the website.
Moving on, Philip asks, I just finished my project for Webmaster. Where would I submit it, and is that the only thing I need to send in?
First of all, I love that you're doing Webmaster. It's one of the littler known events, but I think that designing a website is really cool. It's important to know this is one of the early entry events, so that's due on March 14th. When we get closer to the day, a link will pop up on the Washington TSA website where you can go to submit your project online. Once you click on that link, you'll need to log in with your ID number and your chapter's password, which you can get from your advisor. There will be a spot to turn in your work for each event that you're in. This process is always the same, so for the preliminary deadline, if you're early entry, or if you have an online submission at the conference, it's on this website every time. As far as if that's all you need to submit, for Webmaster, yes, you just need to submit your website. But it depends on each event, so you should check in and make sure, because a lot of events require a portfolio that actually makes up a lot of your final score.
Speaking of which, another listener, Caleb, wants to know, what is a portfolio and what do I need to include in it?
That's going to depend on your event. For the most part, a portfolio is just a document that shows the judges your process in making your project. It can include many different things depending on what the project is. You can find the requirements in your event guide.
And finally, Joel asks, who should I contact if I have any questions about my projects or events?
The best people to ask if you need help are always going to be your advisors.
Well, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much, Jesse, for giving us your time. Your answers will be very helpful for our listeners.
Happy to help. I hope this gave you guys some more insight into TSA, and I hope to see you guys at the conference.
Well, that's all we have for today. For all of you competing this year, I hope that your projects go far.
And for everyone else, I hope you consider joining TSA. It'll help you develop your skills and ideas, and you'll learn to lead in a technical world.
Until next time, this is Josiah
and Rashad.
Thanks for listening.